Another edition of Conscious Mind Tripping with me, your host, Audrey Newmont, and my very special guest, Michele Guzy. We are going to rock your little world today. We have things to talk about, and it's going to be very interesting. So if you're watching live, if you can go to Audrey Newmont at Facebook, and there's comments, I can see the comments, and we can answer any questions that you might have. So join in live. And Michele.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm here. We're here. We're doing it. We're doing it tonight. We're doing something. I don't know what it is, but we're going to do something exciting.
I've got surprises. And I also have things that we've talked about that we want to talk about. So we're in an interesting moment in time. I wanted to talk about this really quick before we get into our interview. You know, tonight is a full moon, and it is a supermoon, which means it's one of the closest to the Earth on this day in the whole year. And then we have a solar activity going on. So there's a lot of solar flares. And that's a big deal because solar flares from the sun can really affect not only our moods, our energy, but it also can get into electronics and things like that. So then we also have coming up on the 9th, which is Sunday, Mercury goes into retrograde. And for those of you that know about that, yeah, it's fun. Communication, electronics. But we're a little exempt along with Mr. Newmont because we were born with Mercury in retrograde. So we don't get the full effect of things.
It doesn't bother me. I actually like it. I can't wait till we go into Mercury retrograde just because I can just calm down and chill out. See?
The other thing that's going into retrograde is Jupiter on the 11th. So Jupiter, it is one of those things where it makes it where you're not so expansive in your thinking, you're not expansive in your spirituality. Nick was telling me all this, and he said to tell this to everybody. I kind of, if I were to put it in my Audrey language, it's kind of like we get a little flat when Jupiter goes into retrograde. So with all that being said, we're here for you. And we help when people go flat. I had somebody just the other day, they came in and was like, Audrey, everything's all good. I don't even understand why, but I'm feeling kind of flat. So to look at it and figure it out. So tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, my goodness. Where do we start? Well, I do hypnotherapy. I'm known as the mind coach. I have been in business for about 35 years, and I work with the power of the subconscious mind. That's it. Help you get on track, allow you to have success, health, wealth, happiness, increase your confidence, get rid of your fears, and change your life. So I'm a change agent, but hypnotherapy is one of the modalities that I do. And just like with Audrey, we work with a lot of different levels, mind, body, emotion, and the spirit and the metaphysical. So we like working in a combination so we can help you with a lot of different things. That is me.
I like to think of it as like we're your personal private detectives, private investigators.
I'm a hypno-detective.
I'm
a hypno-detective.
We have a new word for ourselves. We're hypno-detectives. So you come in and you start telling us what's going on, and then we start asking questions, and then we start putting the pieces of the puzzle together and ask you some more questions. And tell us a little bit of how you do that.
Well, that's what being a detective is, right? It's finding all the facts and the details. So when you come in, for example, if you come in for a session, I'm going to listen to everything that you're saying, but I'm actually listening to the underlying meaning. I am listening to your, believe it or not, your subconscious associations, those little programs that are running around in the background. So you may show me obvious facts. You may give me very obvious feelings, but there's something that started way before that triggered that. And that's my job, is to be a detective and find out the what, not the why, but the what in your subconscious mind is affecting you today. And how do we release that and let it go so we can move forward into a more positive future? I'm here to solve the case. That's it.
Hypno-detective, here to
You
solve the case for
consciously
you.
solve your subconscious case. Because we don't have subconscious problems, right? We have subconscious associations. And your subconscious mind doesn't think it's a problem. It just thinks this is how we do things.
That's a big deal.
We'll kind of break that down.
That right there is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed, I have clients, they come in and they're down here. They're having a bad time. And so we work together and then they move over here and they're feeling so much better. And they may even level up a couple levels. And then it's like, I'm good. And then I don't see them because they're like, I'm doing really good, Audrey. I'll call you when I'm not. But they don't really understand, yeah, you're not here anymore. Your subconscious is changing and you're doing better, but they're not here. It's not, but because they're so much more comfortable, they land kind of here. What do you do with that?
Well, you know what, actually, I was thinking about that today. And I think there's, as you said, there's different layers of comfort zones. And we may get comfortable with a certain job that we're in. We may get comfortable in a relationship. We may be comfortable in a certain communication style. And that may last for a little while. But then if something happens to where it takes you out of that comfort zone, maybe there's a change in the relationship. There's a change in your job. You got a new boss. Who knows? You have to move locations. So if there's a change in your comfort zone, in that time frame, your subconscious mind thinks, is this either a positive or negative? What am I going to do? And you have to move into a new comfort zone. You actually have no choice. We have no choice but to go through the different layers of comfort zones. And either you go into that new comfort zone fighting and screaming and complaining and saying, I wish I would have, or why do I have to? Or you go into this new comfort zone and say, okay, this is kind of fun. This is going to be exciting. It's new. It's different. I'm a little scared. I'm kind of freaked out. However, I'm going to do this anyway. So what's that phrase they say? Feel the fear and do it anyway? Or, we don't really want to go with the fear, FEA. We're not going to go into what fear really represents. It's all right. It's all right. This is a live show. We're going to keep it kid friendly. I'm not even going to go there. So it's okay. Audrey, take her out of hypnosis right now. She's in a comfort zone. I'm trying to get her out of a comfort zone. But that's what I think. So comfort zones are just layers.
They are. And, the interesting thing is, and I'm seeing this a little bit more lately because we do have so much going on. Her and I were talking about it. It's rather toxic at the moment on a lot of levels, whether it's like we were talking about the environment, people, and what is this word that I wrote there? What's this word?
We're talking about the environment, the people, and I have no clue. I can't read her handwriting. And I do handwriting analysis as well. I can't even read her handwriting. It's all right. We'll look at it.
But when we're looking at toxicity, it's when you're looking at that comfort, sometimes it's like the story of the frog in the pot. We've got all these
in the boiling pot, right?
Yes, you put a frog in a pot of cold water and you turn the heat on, and the frog doesn't understand as it's getting hotter and hotter, as we're getting more and more toxic environment, toxic people, toxic, all of this stuff that's going on in the moment. And just with looking at the political systems, all these things that are happening, it was the news. It's news. That actually spelled news. So when you're looking at it, it's like we are like frogs in a pot, and we're sitting there and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's comfortable. We're in our comfort zone, and we don't realize as it's getting hotter, there's things that we can do to literally change to get out of the pot and get into a new environment that's going to be better. So when you're talking
wait a minute, what happens? See, so she's just telling you about the frog and the boiling pot of water that never, it's so comfortable because it's getting warmer and warmer. And then pretty soon the poor little frog is just boiled to death.
That's why we have to learn, if it's getting really, really hot, we have to change that comfort zone. We have to hop out of that pot and go find a better place to be. So how do people do that?
Otherwise, we're going to be boiled alive. That's what I'm getting from this story.
It's not going to be pretty.
It's not going to be pretty. What happened? You're very red today, Michelle. I was in the pot.
But I jumped out. I'm all good to go.
Thank God. Now I'm doing a cold plunge. Have you done that already?
No.
Oh gosh,
I do it
can't
in
go.
the shower. I cold plunge myself in the shower, but no.
Cold plunge. Okay, we'll talk about that. Then maybe that's next time.
That's
I
for
don't know.
Michelle.
That's
I mean, for
That's the
Monica.
whole mind body thing.
Monica
going on.
Leslie, she has a cold plunge. At any rate, how do people get it that it's a little hot in their pot and to want to jump out? How do we help them to understand that there's another place to be? What
Well,
would
how
you
do you
say?
know? How do you know when things are starting to warm up? What starts happening?
Your health gets horrible.
Health gets horrible.
Your relationships get kind of stressed and a problem.
A little wonky.
Maybe your financial system starts to look a little wanky. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning. You're just finding yourself in like that flat place that somebody was telling me about recently. So when these things are happening, there's a part of it where you can understand I'm maybe in a little bit of a stew here. Like I shouldn't be in this. So that's where we come in handy, because when you come in and we're talking with you, we start helping you to direct yourselves, or we give suggestions here and there on how to actually hop out of the pot, climb out of the pot, whatever you're going to do, crawl out of it sometimes because we're so in a mess.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of clients that I'm working with right now, and same thing with myself, is I'll start noticing that I'm getting a little bit more irritated with things, or I'm too hypersensitive or too hypersuggestible.
Explain what hypersuggestible is.
That means anything and everything that's going on around you is affecting you. So the environment, what's going on in your body, what's going on around with people, because everybody is suggestible. That's what hypnosis is, right? When we talk about hypnosis, it's just a heightened state of suggestibility. Suggestibility is suggestion. It's how we learn. It's how we take information in. But if there's an overload of stimulus, we become hyper suggestible. We're too open, and we can't defer, or discern what's good for us and what's not, what's acceptable and what's not. We're just taking it all in. It's like we've been thrown into that pot of water, and there may be a lot of ways out, but we can't focus on what's going to be the best way. So we just don't even bother, right? We just allow everything to start taking place. So when we get too hyper suggestible and hypersensitive, what I want you to do, and what I think helps, with me as well, is intuition. Do you know what intuition is? Do you trust your intuition? Do you listen to your intuition? Because it's that one tiny little voice in the back of your mind that's saying, hey, this is not acceptable. This is not okay. This doesn't look good, feel good. It doesn't sound good. Or are you pushing it away and you're staying in that pot of boiling water? Now you're a red frog. That's never a good place to be. We don't want to be a red frog.
Another thing to do is, it's maybe not even your intuition. Sometimes other people will see you and you can borrow their intuition. Somebody will be like, hey, there's things going on with you, how can I help you? Or, they will give you a heads up. Because sometimes we're so deep in it. It's like you're in the pot and your ears are underwater and you're just not listening to anything. Somebody gives you a nudge. It's like, hey, you got a little problem going on. It's important to listen. It's important I was just telling somebody, I think it was yesterday, then when you're because they were very much in a moment like that. And I said, you're in a moment where you've got to do something different. And they were like, I've done this different and that different. And it's like, then you need to mix it up even further. Sometimes people think, well, I've done this and I've done this and it should be better. Sometimes you just haven't hit the right thing. And if your intuition isn't kicking in, one of the things I said to this person is find somebody that makes sense to you. Find somebody that you can talk to that will help you, see things a little bit more clearly with your perception, right?
And that's exactly right. And so I used to teach conflict management seminars and training, and there was a phrase that we were using in business, and it was, if 3 or more people agree that this is an issue, then this is an issue, right? Then you have a conflict. If you go talk to somebody about something going on in your life and they're giving you information or feedback that's hopefully helpful for you, you take that in, but you're not ready to quite hear it and do anything about it. But if you go talk to somebody else about it and they're saying the same thing, then I want you to do what we call the power of three. Talk to at least three people, three sources, and get their feedback. And if all three of those people are saying the exact same thing about a situation or an issue that you have, then you have a conflict. And this, when you can come to us, and of course, working with hypnotherapists or coaches or therapists, that's one-on-one. But when you have other people starting to talk to you and say the same thing, and when you don't listen, that is when you're stuck in that pot of boiling water. That's when you're, in that comfort zone of whatever fear and association that you have from the past, whatever fear of rejection or fear of loss of control, that's going to keep you stuck.
Right. It's a fascinating thing right now because I'm looking on all these different avenues and I'm watching so many people just get caught up. The other part of it, when you're going to three people that make sense, that is movement in a direction that is for your betterment, your better and highest. Then when you are following other people, like I'm watching things online where there is like this mass of people that are going into avenues, we'll call them avenues, we don't need to get into details, but they're angry, or they're feeling, rage, and they're feeling all of these, what I call fear feelings. They're in that, like, I don't know what's the word for it. They're in this mass consciousness where they're literally just in this zone. So if you're finding yourself looking at life and you have a lot of people around you that are in that kind of zone where they're angry, they're feeling they're victim to something, they've got whatever they've got going on, there is a point where you have to step back, or you don't, you choose, but you have the opportunity to step back and say, wait a minute, this is an avenue that maybe isn't leading me to the best and highest. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really interesting moment right now because people are getting divided and people are going into a lot of judgment, not only about what's happening, but judgment with each other and judgment with themselves. That one with judgment with themselves is huge. Huge. Do you deal with that a lot?
And then, well, when you have judgment with yourself, what are you saying to yourself? Right? How does that judgment affect you? But actually, when people have judgment on themselves, is it really them talking about themselves or thinking this way, or did they hear it from a long time ago?
Right.
Because if you heard you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, you'll never amount to anything growing up, or shut up, or you're stupid, or, don't do this, you'll never be able to finish that, then we have that level of a program that's back there. And then we're going to say the same thing to ourselves. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough to be a model. I can't, start this job because I'll never be able to finish that. So is that judgment yours, or somebody else told you about that?
It's the program. I'm an example of the one about being stupid. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah, you've talked about this.
Yeah. And so that's a program. In actuality, we're all intelligent. We're all very intelligent. So I had Nick and I, it's not going to come back on.
You want that to go up?
No, it's all good. We're all good to go.
Do we look better now? Our lighting has changed.
I mean, you can put it up if
we're
you
in
like.
more focused lighting.
No, I had somebody one time introduce her kids to me, and they're two teenage boys. And she said, yeah, this is Dumb and Dumber. And I was like, just like looking at these kids and thinking, they've just heard that from their mother. Yeah. And that is a program. So anything that we hear, we see, we are in 0 to 8 of our lives, we're taking on programs about who we are. So when you have that moment, you're feeling what those feelings are. You got to do the critical thinking and ask yourself those questions, like she was saying. Is this about what's happening now, or is this my judgment from back there? And that's it's a really important part to look at, and asking those questions like, is this actually true?
And, I've been talking with people about, and we brought it up about what's toxic. So when you think about that word toxic, really, what does that mean? When I hear toxic, that means poison. It's dangerous. It's going to harm me. It's a bad thing. Oh, that's toxic. Don't go into that water. That water's toxic. Don't drink that. Don't eat that. That's toxic. Or our bodies, right? When we're dealing with mind, body, health and wellness, that our bodies are toxic, that we have to detox because we have toxins that are literally in there. But we don't have just toxins in our body. We have toxins in our mind. Who or what situation has poisoned your mind, poisoned your life, poisoned your thinking and your reasoning, that you're now kind of feeling stuck. And sure, and we can blame it on Mercury retrograde. We can blame it on the stars and everything that's happening. But your subconscious programs can be toxic.
Absolutely.
How do we detox from that?
Pay attention. When you're feeling angry, when you're feeling stressed, anxious, worried, all those feelings, every single time, each one of them is a program. So if you want to detox from it, like we go to Tatiana and we get into a hucket and we detox our body.
In a hucket?
It's a hucket.
She gets into a hucket.
It's like a cocoon. And you sit in it, and it's got infrared, it's got ozone, and it literally detoxes the body. When you get out, you've been sitting on a white towel, and there is a black outline. And this is stuff that's coming out of the body. So your body does need to detox, because on so many levels we are ingesting, breathing in. There's toxins all over the place. So it's like with your mind as well. There's little black stuff in there as well. So when you are in any given moment and there is a feeling that comes up, that feeling is telling you there's a toxin, there's a program, there's something that's running that's not who you are. It's what you believe. It's what you're running. It's a program. So when you take the time to do a process, and you've got processes, I've got processes, there's all these different ways where you can detox your mind. You look at it as something that is a beneficial thing to do. And so you start paying attention to the feelings more. You start paying attention to your timeline. I always ask my clients, what happened in your 0 to 8? Because you're in the back seat of the parent's car and you've got siblings back there. You've got all things going on, and you're just this kid taking on programs. And then you have experiences. You've got all these different things in your timeline. So when you're able to detox, there's a part of it in the choice point where you're saying, what is this? What's going on? And they're being their own private investigator. So however you do it, you want to look at it as the feelings are a beneficial thing. So many people, and you know this, so many people have an issue just feeling feelings, hard feelings, being sad, being angry. A lot of people, it's like, I wasn't allowed to be angry.
Allowed to be angry because you were not, like you said, you just said it. They were not allowed to be that, stop crying, stop, you're being too happy, you're being too noisy, you're talking too much. So we learn to internalize everything, because to feel externally and to be able to voice that's even more dangerous than keeping it inside.
I just had a situation, and of course these people are anonymous, but he doesn't mind me saying these things. This person came in, and it's the person that was feeling flat. And they had in their childhood a wonderful mom who just wanted to make everything fabulous. and wanted to make sure that they weren't struggling and they weren't having a hard time and they were having this just magical childhood. So then when something happened that caused these hard feelings, they didn't know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's just put it over there because I don't know what to do with that, and keep moving forward until it's just an overload and you can't just keep moving it over. And that is a very common thing. We were talking about it earlier with our teenagers right now. You know, they went through COVID and they got isolated and all these things have happened. And a lot of our young adults, older teenagers and whatnot, they're really having a moment learning how to be, you know, present.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were working with a teenager just today and you had something going on. What are the things that you're seeing with kids?
Well, I just, I find it interesting that we have so much ADD, ADHD, hyperactivity. Your kids aren't focused in school, and teachers are trying to do something, parents are trying to do something about it. Oh, let's just put them on medication and so forth. But I'm finding that kids nowadays, they're at such a different level than us. I think their brains are at a higher level. We live a lot longer. Kids are way smarter than they were, than we were growing up. I mean, I have a 5-year-old who can program my computer, for God's sakes. And I'm not so aware of, what the diagnosis is for people when they say that when you go take your child to a therapist and they diagnose you and say, okay, here's the situation, here's the issue, just go on these medications. It's more of what are we doing in the school system to kind of change that around. So the kid I had coming in today, he's about 12, 13 years old. But the good thing is the teacher is able to understand that he loses focus pretty quickly. It's not that he's stupid, probably a genius kid, but that when he loses his focus, then he gets all antsy and he's moving around and he's looking around and gets good grades in school. But because his movement is kind of irritating to the teacher and the other kids, they're all trying to see him as a problem child.
Yeah.
No, let's go put him off in the corner. Let's put him back, because when he's moving too much, then other people are focused on him and watching him. But, the good thing about what that teacher is doing is realizing and working with the parents that, oh, let's get this. Is there a fidget thing that he needs to have? Is there, a special kind of chair that he can do? I'm doing hypnosis techniques that he can do, little anchoring techniques that the other kids don't even need to be aware of, because it's not an anxiety thing. We figured out he doesn't have anxiety. He's just bored to death in school. But, are there actual things going on in the brain with kids? Yes. Do we have certain levels with it where there may be a little deficiency or their brain is running, a little differently with the programs? Yes. So it's just asking a lot of questions.
And that's the key, because it's every single body, everybody is unique in however they operate. So when you've got kids that are struggling, sometimes it's they're eating, Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms for breakfast. And that's loaded with all kinds of things that are chemical reactions in the brain, chemical reactions in the body. It can be a wide variety of things. One of the things in particular I've noticed is just simply diet. This is your first brain here. And if you're continually putting in chemicals, like the person I was talking about, actually, same person again, has been having issues with their gut health. Mm-hmm. And there was a part of it where they finally heard me. They left for a minute and I picked up the drink that they were drinking, and I'm looking at all these ingredients. They came back in and it's like, if you're drinking things that you can't pronounce, and I just asked Rock about these chemicals, and this one in particular, sucralose, it affects your gut health. That's why you're having an issue. And for the first time they heard me and they're like, okay, I get it. I'm going to go to the store and I'm only going to get things that I can literally read and things that are on a much more healthy side. Just that piece alone for kids with ADD or ADHD is
It's
a
the food.
huge,
Yeah.
huge
First
problem.
question I ask is, what is your child or teenager, what are they eating? What do they eat right when they wake up in the morning? What are they eating for lunch? What kind of snacks do they have? Are they drinking a lot of sodas? Are they doing the energy drinks, which are the worst things on the planet? Because food is for your brain, right?
You're drinking something that says liquid death.
Liquid death.
I mean, it's like probably not a
Perfect
good
name.
idea. I'm just saying.
Perfect name, right?
It's like when that first came out, I was like,
Why,
seriously?
Why would they even let you label that? Why would they even let that be on there? But if you have kids that are struggling in school, take a look at what you're feeding them. Really take a look at what they're eating.
Yeah.
And look at how their blood sugar, I struggle with hypoglycemia, so I have to be very aware of the type of food that I'm eating. And I didn't know this growing up, but when I look back, if I was eating some type of sugary cereal for breakfast, or if I had pancakes, which I love, but I can't do, I can't do pancakes, then it was no wonder the whole first period, my whole first class, I was falling asleep. And that would always be the worst class. And I would dread if I had to get math in the first class because it was hard enough for me. But I couldn't function. It's not that I didn't want to learn. It's not that I'm stupid. It's just my blood sugar would drop me down so low that my brain could not function correctly.
Yeah.
So do you give them a little energy drink? What are you giving them to drink before they go to school? And then they're all hyper. And then all of a sudden things start shifting and now they're bored, or now they need to kind of get out of the chair and they can't. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do with health with that, but also a lot of things that we can do to help in hypnosis with hypnotherapy. So you got the behavior modification, you got the education, and then you got the nutrition, all the shuns.
I love them. So when people come into you and they come in with their challenges, I think I saw something on your website. I do this as well. I'm pretty sure you do it. Do you create personalized voice memos for them?
Yes.
How do you do that?
So all of my hypnosis sessions, I am going to record the hypnosis portion of that. I'm just recording on my phone. Mm-hmm. So I can record right here in voice memo. Mm-hmm. And just send it to you, especially with iPhones, because they have great sound. And then I actually have music in the back. So I'm going to play some deep theta music. I'm going to turn the lights down. So we're creating the whole stage for that. And then you have this audio that you can listen to over and over and over again. Now, there's some things that I may want you to listen to it for a few times and then be done, because we're moving on from that.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if I'm teaching you a technique that you can use later, then that can be part of your library. So it can be very effective. I also have, on my website, I have something called the Hypnotic Hub. And that is a whole series of hypnosis sessions that I've created, and programs and courses and a bunch of free stuff that you have 24/7 access to it. You can increase your confidence whenever you want to. You can deal with your sleep issues. You can focus on your weight and, healthy lifestyle. You can get rid of your fear of flying if you need to. So that's that hub that I like to do. So everything I do, I record for people and then put it out there to the masses. So it's available.
Do you record the actual session?
No, I don't record. No, I don't need to record the whole session unless you want it.
On the first session, I give a lot of information because I'm talking about stuff.
So you record? Yeah.
And especially if they listen to it. Sometimes people just don't, and that's okay too. Mm-hmm. But if they do listen to it, I'll record the whole session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll do it if you want to, right? I may not do it if I think it could be an issue where somebody might go into your phone and listen to it. So that's the only thing.
I usually will pause those parts.
You're like, hold on. Let's delete that part out. So it's, when you come in for sessions with therapists, it's confidentiality. But if you do have an option, if you want to record, and what you do with those recordings. So you got to make sure that they're going to be safe and that, yes, you can listen to it, because, in that first session, we teach them all about the theory of the mind. We teach them about how the subconscious works, what hypnosis really is and what it isn't. And then we want you to utilize those techniques. So you have a lot of things available for us, right? Oh, and we have a little, I created that a long time ago.
I have this on here, and during the
25
session
years ago, I made that.
You created this?
Yeah, in the book.
Oh, neat. Well, I got to tell you, I use this all the time. When my clients are talking about whatever, it's like, it's because you're here, or it's because there's a belief rolling, or critical thinking, the most important part. That's what gets you up here. So, yeah, that first session, it's like, let me explain to you why you're here. And then we'll give you some tools to not be having to do this for the rest of your life.
Do you know what? The first session is the most fun. I love doing, if I could just do one session and that's it, fix you up and be done with you, I would be good. But it's the most rewarding for people when they come in, they work with us, because we're teachers. Right? Don't think of us really as therapists. We're teachers. We're coaching you on how to understand what your subconscious mind is doing.
Right.
That's it. That's all we're doing. We're opening up the doors and saying, okay, this is a program. This is a program. This is how it works. And when you can consciously be, that part down there, when you can consciously be in control of your subconscious mind, then you can do anything you set your mind to do. So that first session, tell me about what's going on in your life. I want a little bit of history, and then I want to know where you are going. What is your goal? Mm-hmm. Because if you come in with a goal, that's already you giving yourself a subconscious hypnotic suggestion. If you come in and say, I don't know, do whatever you want, it's not going to work, is it? People come into therapy with a goal.
You know what I do? I have my clients ahead of time. If it's their first session, I'll tell them, before you come in, write down your intentions, another word for your goal, on your love life, so that your love of self. In fact, you guys do this right now. Sit down, and New Year's is coming, a whole new year. So between here and there.
Oh my God, it's almost Christmas.
I know, it's
already
crazy.
Done. This year is already done. I'm going to be 39 again.
It takes 21 days to change a habit-ish. So when you are here now, pull out a piece of paper and write down your intentions for your love life, so that your love of self, and then relationships, and then your intentions for your health, then your intentions for your success, your abundance. That's like your job, things that you are abundant with, your success in all those kind of areas, like money and things like that. Then your intentions for just being happy. And then with those intentions, you write the intention, and then what are some actions that you can take? So when my clients come in, I just have them do the intentions. And then when they're in, we start looking at what are those actions. Because people forget to do that. They just get caught up in the stuff of the day, and they're like a leaf just flowing down the stream and not having much of a direction to it. So this is like that direction. When we're working with a goal or intention, we're helping you to kind of map your journey. Yeah.
And that's it. Now, we can't fix you.
No, we don't want to fix you.
I mean, I could snap my fingers and pretend like I am, but we can't fix you. That's not our job. I love it when people say, can you just snap your fingers and make that relationship go away? Or can you just make my boss go away? Can you make this situation just go away? I would be a trillionaire if I could do that. But we are going to snap fingers. Why do we snap, Audrey? Somebody asked me this the other day. Why are you snapping in hypnosis?
Oh, number one, it just looks cool.
It looks cool.
And we are like, make it happen. It's a getting your attention thing. It's locking and loading it in there. Funny enough, she does a lot of hypnosis. She's like the hypnosis queen. She was my teacher.
You see
at
what
the
happened? She
hypnosis.
just put me in those.
She went deep sleep.
I'm out. Going out.
Wake your ass up.
Wake my ass up.
She was my teacher at the Hypnosis Institute. So she is like, when I have somebody that I, know needs some really serious hypnosis, usually I'll send them over to Nick, and I have sent people over to her as well. I do hypnosis, but there's certain things it's like, I like to teach people how to hypnotize themselves. So that thing where she said people come in and they're like, you need to snap your fingers today. I had somebody years ago come in and they were like, Audrey, you need to hypnotize me today because I am just like a hot mess. And it's like, no, I'm never going to be that person that's going to be, no, you're going to learn how to do it yourself. And that's the bottom line. So I do hypnosis, but I like to teach people more and work with them doing the tools that I do, which hypnotizes themselves. But there is a huge value to doing hypnosis. I think there's a part of it as well that I get bored doing hypnosis. You know how you say that you love that first session?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing hypnosis, the other part of it is, all right, here's something I've never told anybody.
Shh, shh, shh. I hope we're not live.
Because I had a client the other day, I did hypnosis with her, but I'm also doing energy work at the same time.
Yes. Shh. We're going to tell you our secrets. Right?
Here's the thing. Here's the secret. I'm doing hypnosis with her and I'm doing the energy work. And oh my gosh, when I do energy work, my eyes pour. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what the heck it is. I've told Nick, can he fix it? He's not fixing it, but my eyes will just pour and it's just not fun.
She's got the waterfalls going on there. Well, because you're,
and then
when
they
you're
come out
doing
of it and they're
energy,
like, what's the matter?
well,
It's
why
like,
are you crying? I'm the one that has the issue.
yeah, so
Why is my therapist
I just get
crying?
tired of being a mess. So it's like, Nick, you go to Nick, he'll fix. Go to Michelle, she'll fix.
But you know what? Let's try something real quick. So when we talk about snapping, okay, it's an anchor. I can either anchor something in that's positive, or I can break your state, which means I can break the neural pathway in the program that's running. Okay, so let's do a little quick experiment. Are you ready? Yeah. I want you just to think about something that's negative or difficult, or you're having an issue with in your life right now. I want you to bring up the feeling of that. Is it frustration? Is it anger? Are you irritated? Are you, just want to just do something with it? Whatever it is, just bring up whatever the issue is. Okay,
Get it
so
going.
bring it up as much as you possibly can. Okay, now let's do this. Just stop. Okay, stop the thought, stop the feeling. Come back to me for just a moment. Okay, now do it again. Just bring up the emotion, bring up that thought, bring it up. Now just stop. Now come back to me. Stop. Okay, now just let it go. Do it again. Bring up that thought, bring up the feeling, bring up the emotion. Got it? Stop. You can't snap too good. Stop. Okay, now bring up the emotion, bring up the feeling, bring up the thought again. Try to do it again. Because each time that you do this, if you're in session with me and I have you in hypnosis, you can't have a positive and negative thought at the same time. So if I kind of break that state, it's like somebody, Audrey, put your arm up like this. If you're trying to go into a state of anxiety and lift up your arm, so you're feeling anxiety, I'm like, nope, you're not doing that anymore. And you keep trying to go up. Nope, we're not going to do that anymore. Nope, we're not feeling that anxiety. Nope, Pretty soon what's going to happen with you?
I'm just going to give it.
You're going to get tired. So your subconscious mind is going to get tired that it can't go down that path because I'm breaking it. That's all that the snap is. So whether I do that or I do a little touch or, something to shift you, or I might have you do an anchor, you're going down a different freeway. We talk about, mind tripping and going down that freeway or that highway or that road of life. I want you off that freeway that's not working for you anymore.
It's like you have neural pathways in your brain that are little highways in your brain. And when we're doing that kind of a process, it is literally rerouting. So we're assisting you. You have your intention. We've talked about it. We've worked through it.
Mhm.
And when we're doing hypnosis, we're rerouting that program
Mhm.
and we're helping you. When you come in for a first
See?
session,
What happened? She just went to something else.
we're breaking into the subconscious mind and we're going in here and we're changing this negative to a positive. We're assisting you in that process of it. You know, when you were doing that, we have to say the thing we were talking about earlier.
Oh, say the thing.
Oh, there's this really funny skit that Bob Newhart did.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, stop it. So this girl comes in and he tells her he's the therapist and you be the therapist and I'll be the client. And we're going to do this for you. All right. So I'm coming in with my issue and you.
Okay. So Audrey, tell me, you got 5 minutes. Tell me a little bit about your issue. What's going on?
Well, I really have a thing about getting trapped in a box and it scares me. And I just think about it all the time. And I just really, it just weighs on my mind. And I'm just scared about getting trapped in a box. It just bothers me all the time.
Okay. All right. Well, I have something that we can do here for you. It's very, very simple.
Okay.
It's 2 words. Are you ready?
Should I write them down?
You don't, well, you can, you don't need to, if you can memorize them. It's
All right.
really, really simple.
All right.
Because you're afraid of, being trapped in a box.
Yeah.
All right. So this is all you need to do. Okay. You ready? Stop it.
Okay. All right.
Just stop it.
You mean just stop?
Stop being afraid of being trapped in a box.
Just stop it?
Just stop it.
Like
STOP, new word, IT.
Just
stop it.
Just all right. I'll just stop it.
So that only took a couple minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I feel a little better.
Good.
But what about the other problems that I have?
No other problems. Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Stop the thought of being trapped in a box. That's it. It's really, really simple.
Okay. I'll just stop it.
Just stop it.
I've told that to a few of my clients and they're laughing. The next session they come in, they go, Audrey, I just keep hearing your voice in my head saying, just stop it. Stop.
And if you don't stop it, I'm going to go trap you in a box.
That's the
kind of like that. So it's Bob Newhart. It's a Saturday Night Live skit.
It's hysterical.
But
there's a part of it where you have those neural pathways and we keep allowing it because we keep the attention on it. We keep thinking about it and you are here and you just keep thinking about it. Before you know it, you've gone from anxiety to panic. So there is a capability, an ability within all of us to stop it. Literally just own your mind and do something different. It's like I was telling that person yesterday, find a new avenue, find something that you haven't done before. Because they were like, well, I've done this and I've done that. And it's like, great. You haven't done something that is actually going to work. Go find the thing. Right.
And that's it's a primitive instinct that we have to be able to make that shift. So if you have little kids, right? And you have kids, those of you that have kids, what do you do with a little tiny child that's crying?
Stop it. No, just kidding.
Close, but we don't want to go to jail. All right. So what do? My kids crying. We can bring close.
What are you upset about?
You can, right? So that's one way of breaking the state. What else could you do?
Ask them critical thinking questions.
They're tiny little kid. They're 3 years old. What could you do to get them to stop crying immediately?
Distract them with something else.
Distract it. Oh my gosh. Did you see that balloon over there? What? Balloon. Real fast. So we know how to do this. You've been doing it since you were a child. And you, especially if you have children, you know how to instinctively do this. So what's the reason that you're not doing it for yourself?
There you go.
What's the reason that it's so hard for us to be able to say to ourselves, just stop it. Stop that thought. Stop that feeling. Stop acting that way. Stop it. Let me do something different. Because if you can just take 30 seconds to a minute and do something else, then the neural pathway has to go in a different direction.
Right. Right.
That's it.
Looking to see how much time we have here. Oh, goody.
See, some of you are still trying to have that negative thought, aren't you? Trying to have that negative. Try to have that negative.
That's enough.
Let it go.
The other part of it is when you have that child, we have the child in the backseat, that inner child, that ego of ours. And for a lot of us, as the example we brought up earlier, we're not allowed to cry. We're not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed to do those things. So now when you're learning how to be angry, maybe for the first time, when you're learning how to own the sadness of maybe grief, when you're learning all of these things as the conscious adult at this moment, it's the inner child that struggles with it. So when you're able to, just like I was saying earlier, nurture that child and to be with them in a new way, we have the ability to deal with our past like that. I'm going to be the conscious adult, and I'm going to nurture her. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to distract her sometimes. I'm going to do whatever, but I'm going to honor the feelings rather than just pushing them aside. And I think that's a big part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge thing at the moment. Feelings, it's imperative at the moment that we really get in touch with our feelings and not be suppressing them anymore. It's a huge moment for that.
And you know what? Let's talk about one of the most toxic words on the planet. Do you know what that is?
What is it?
Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Is that a toxic word?
It's a toxic word.
Share.
Why?
Why?
Why did you do that? Why are you feeling that
okay.
way? Why are you thinking that? Why can't you figure this out? Why do you have a problem? Why are you just so emotional? Why are you being so defensive? How can that be a toxic word in your life? And are you saying that to yourself? Versus, what are you feeling right now? What's going on here? What's the situation? How can we look at this differently? How can we handle this in a different way? What's my emotions? I think, a very powerful thing to do is to catch yourself when you're saying that word why and see if you can flip it into a what or a when or a how or a who, different language patterns.
Another part of the why, it almost always wraps around judgment. So when you are using compassion with the questions, then you're going to get to your answers. So it's always definitely you want to ask questions, but you want to ask the question from a place of compassion and not from a place of judgment. That why is like, you idiot, why did you do that? Versus,
and what's the answer? What's always going to be the answer? What did we learn growing up? I don't know.
Okay. So when my clients come in my office and they do that, they'll be like, I don't know. And I'm like, the minute you walked in this door, you cannot say that phrase. There is a part of you that knows. So you can't say that word here. There's certain things I'm like adamant about, like the word try.
Try and why.
Try. Yeah. So asking yourself the questions that bring about the answers with the solution is a much better approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that thing with the why.
What are you doing here? And when somebody says, I don't know, if you did know, what would it be? If you had to take a guess, doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, good or bad, positive or negative. If you had to take a guess, what would it be? Because we do have answers, right? That's why you're asking the questions. You're just trying to validate the answer that you already have in your mind. You're smarter than you think, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. There's another part of asking the question. People get tied up in the adult and the ego, but a lot of times when you're asking the question of that greater part of you, that's where I go first. So if I don't know the answer to something and it's really bothering me, I'm going to take a time out and however that looks. So how would you take a time out? And then you're allowing that higher part of you. You're allowing that intelligence to literally, it's another word for that, intuition, to be the answer, to be that source of, whatever the thing is that you're looking at. So that's another big part of all of this. Huge. Any other toxic things?
We've learned a lot tonight.
We have.
We have
Click
learned
your
a
fingers
lot.
some more. I like it.
Cold, so they, gotta warm them up a little bit. Okay, just and next time somebody says just snap out of it, just say thank you. I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good idea. I will.
So start practicing your snapping and your stopping.
Be a snapper. Be a snapper in your life. And I don't mean a fish. Be a snapper.
That's funny.
Snap your
It's
subconscious mind. That's it. Snap your subconscious mind.
Work it.
Snap those negatives out.
Remember that. Work it, sister. That's another version of it, right? Snap it.
And why did they do that? Because they were
Snap
anchoring.
it real good. By the way, I keep looking at Lisa Allen's name here with your saying hi. I hope you're still on here. Hi, it's good to see you. For whatever reason, I'm not getting any of these comments, I'm sure, are coming through. So I will take time, and Michele will probably take time afterwards to answer any and all questions that you guys have had. It is getting time to be done already. It seems like this was very
We
fast.
just started.
You're going to have to come back
It's
again.
like I snapped and it's already over.
You're like making time changes with your snapping.
The universe. Okay, Mercury, don't worry about it.
So get out tonight and howl. When you're howling, all right, you're bringing it from here. You're letting go. The full moon is that time where you're letting go. So anything that you revealed to yourself in this time that it's like, oh yeah, I've been holding on to that, or I've been whatever, go out there, and when you're howling, you're bringing it from here and you're getting it out. And, howling it out.
Go moonbathe.
Right?
No.
Oh.
Okay, if you want to do it naked, you can. I don't want to know about it. I have a flat roof. I can do that. I might just do that tonight. Okay, hopefully nobody knows where I live.
She's got crows that are watching her, just saying. How can people get a hold of you?
Just go to themindcoach.com. I'm the Mind Coach. And hey, there's some free tools on there, some free hypnosis sessions. Take a look at that. Why don't you try the mini hub and then jump into the hypnotic hub? Change your life.
Hobbit.
The Hobbit?
Hobbit.
The Hobbit?
Hub.
Hypnotic hub.
So what are we now? Hypno
We're hypno detectives.
I like that. Yeah, it's my new hashtag, hypno detective. Audrey Newmont. I like that. So thank you very much for joining me here.
Thank you for having me.
I have to say, you're a lot of fun. We always enjoy it. And for those that are watching, I'm going to be on again next week on Wednesday. I've picked my night that I'm landing on, Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I have a few people that are going to be coming up soon, like my friend Stephen Palmer and Monica Leslie, and I've got a few other people that I am booking. But I believe next week I will be me, myself, and I have some things that I'm going to be chatting about that will be, I think, interesting. Would you like to join me again soon?
Very soon.
We will
if the stars align.
Oh, the stars are
and
aligning.
The planets are where they're supposed to be. And I'm not out there doing some naked moon bathing. I will come back.
You didn't give it a moment for them. You know what? Check out her Instagram. She has a crow that's quite fond of her.
And a few of them, I think. There was 2 the other day. They're dropping me. I don't have enough jewelry. It's quite fun. I go out on my patio. There's rings and
we'll get
bracelets
into
and
how to
necklaces.
manifest next time, right? We'll do a manifestation talk next time, because we're manifestors along with being our hypno detective selves. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And I will see you guys again next week. Much love to you and have a good one. Take care, everybody. And the stream, boom.